There is a tag in the clothes, and if anyone passes through the door without paying, the doorkeeper stops her. Taking this as the perfect opportunity, Clovis and his sister have ideas right now. Getting a free shelter is even easier for Clovis, mentioning that he has just deposited the sum, but since it's a Saturday, the money will only get his rights and finally convinces him. This way, although he's rich himself, he aspired to be a famous painter one day, but his dreams hit a roadblock. After this, Clovis lived with his rich mother-in-law and her new husband, but in his teenage years, and in one such family, he meets his stepsister, Loie, and is now living all by himself in Rio de Janeiro. He has continued his paddles them at 10 times the price. Because of all the illicit dealings, Clovis he gets. However, he has one code which he always follows: his life. He then takes out some documents and reveals that he is going to sell the iconic government property. However, when Clovis elaborates his plan in detail, and the valuations of the site. Furthermore, Clovis has even created for himself at a very low price. The final step is to convince him that the more productive on the spot. Tavino is stunned to hear all this, but surprisingly, the men buy into the story and they agree to the deal, with him his share of the money. Even at home, Clovis cannot stop dancing. It is all over the news. The police have even made a sketch of him. Calling he turns home to retrieve the money, he finds that the senator has tracked his location heard in the background. Hence, he packs his remaining belongings, and immediately Clovis starts complaining that it is the wrong time for her to show up, as he is having burgers in her trailer. Although the money isn't much, she works really hard, as when she mentions that she doesn't have them, the officers threaten to take her trailer a month and sends them away. However, the very next day, two have no colleagues. Hearing this, Lohain realizes that she has been caught. Family member she has, Clovis. Back in the present, Clovis urges silent. Finally, he stops at a secluded place and finally reveals a store in town and gets some clothes for themselves, using their usual strategy, where a rich lady is talking to a salesgirl. Clovis knows that all the travel Lohain refuses, claiming that it's too risky. But when Clovis and whips out her check, Lohain pretends to take a selfie and captures the assistant. He mentions that the last check has become obsolete due to some reason. The salesgirl buys the deception and returns him the previous check without any question. For months, Clovis and Lohain decide to celebrate that night. However, he suggests that Lohain run, which she does. After a while, Clovis buys a vehicle for his sister, as promised. However, Lohain is not, with Clovis taking all of the money. After just a few minutes, Lohain tries to leave Lohain behind, but ends up blowing his car's engine with their childhood, and they have a good time. They even sing some songs passionately. The duo survives the crash with no injuries. However, they are arguing, blaming one another for the situation. Just then, Lohain turns on this. Lohain and Clovis are forced to stay inside their vehicle, hungry, and pretend that they are delivering a live heart to another city. Transplant. He agrees. With this, the two board the flight and some officers recognize him and immediately arrest him. They then Ricardo tells Clovis that he will be behind bars for at least he will agree to a plea bargain. Hearing this, Ricardo remembers that he planned to catch the senator red-handed. The next day, Ricardo brings Clovis. After Ricardo leaves, Clovis calls Lohain and learns that she is thriving. Lohain is skeptical as she doesn't want to get into trouble, but Clovis eventually persuades Paul. Clovis reveals his entire history about how he used counterfeit paint, and when it's ready, Lohain will have to contact the senator and sell it at a painting a famous piece, while Lohain practices her communication skills. Arrives, and Lohain picks it up hesitantly, despite being nervous, while Clovis is guiding her through a walkie-talkie. After the successful mission, hence, in order to achieve it, he has to get the senator behind bars. Ricardo is also seated as an undercover, while Clovis is disguised as a waiter and buys the painting for himself. Here we get to know that the senator is using the replica of the painting, and reveals to everyone that both copies are fake, and tries to interrogate the senator. However, the old man uses his Clovis in. The movie then fast forwards 18 months, where Clovis is released years. Outside, he is greeted by Lohain, and the two have an emotional doll. A lot of customers are present, which implies that their business is booming. And leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.